So I'm going to have to get done up in Christchurch, I think. And she's also suggested that some poplars might be going soon. So if this idea was to go ahead, it would be part of his planning for how, because sometimes they use trees to bounce off for good shots and stuff like that. So I've spoken to Otago Central Rail Trail Trust, obviously, Kate and Ken, and they support it. I've asked her to contact regarding Doc, but of course Doc's hard to get anything much out of at the moment. But I figure if we all were just quite happy with it and too long, then easier to get them to sign a piece of paper. I know that the council obviously does the upkeep, so it kind of would happen anyway. The paving areas are all done. They wanted some biggish equipment to help with it. I did offer my husband, obviously. Easy to mow over. You can have chairs, lovely chairs there that could be sponsored by the different businesses. Art Deco could have the golf discs for sale / rent. They also rent them as well. And those, obviously, the scorecards, kind of like your rail trail passport. And you can winter too. And it'd be a really good family thing to do. And it's great for our community's mental health and wellbeing. And then this lovely. If you want to go back a photo, we can show the, So they've got a lot of sponsors and everything, and that's one of the seats. And they're a 3-part. Yeah, so I managed to do mine and forgot.
So you need to have that franchise market, or why can't it be run by the Art Deco itself?
It doesn't need run, but you want someone to put it in. The baskets are a unique thing.
Can I run what baskets cost?
I've got the quote, but I just don't want to put it publicly yet until.
So you don't have to have it's not trademark.
No.
So basically, if someone sponsors,
He'll come in and give you a presentation. He's really good. He's been down already, as I say. Talked to Karen and I. Yeah, I guess it's just getting all interested parties interested, and then he'll go seriously towards it, and I can start.
See, the longest one there, they've got 60 metres, so it doesn't take a lot of room, does it?
No, and I thought we'd,
60
I thought we'd be a bit tight down there, but when he said that we could do 6 instead of 9, I was like, oh, well, okay. They call them a community course. And it was a good hour of fun for our whole family. Too easy sort of thing. Yeah.
And first place I thought it was the beach park, and you see one of the first.
Off you get.
But it would fit in there, behind there quite nicely.
I just think it'll bring a whole nother level of energy. It is really nice. Remember we tried to do that Art Deco festival there behind there one time. And it's lovely. It's a lovely space. And you do see people sitting there. It would highlight the shed, the tractor shed and those implements and working well with the sun once it's there. Like it will really open up, I think, and create width to our main street almost.
So you got a business group?
Nope, they're not an interested party right now. Obviously, I don't want to start talking about it too widely until we've got Doc, yourselves, and OCRT.
That's a good idea. But it would give a lot more use of that area.
Yeah, and as I say, it's a well-oiled machine and it's relatively low risk because I've seen them go everywhere. And if we don't get one here, then I'm sure there'll be somewhere very close by very soon.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It would stop families here for longer on the rail trail. They'd actually stop and buy food and ice creams and sit and relax.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you. Oh, it's great. I think that's awesome.
Because I have noticed that the main street is looking busier and more full with the awesome toilets. Like that's completely gone against the negative perception. So, and of course Janice is making that pull through with we had put the bikes on that side so the rail trailers could see that picture, and it's got that walkway now, and then some go there and some seats around the place, and it will incorporate that sort of spot adjoining Stafford Street that nothing happens.
No.
We tried to do that Project Gold planting. I think there's about four somethings left out of about 50.
Yeah.
That was
be a good use of space that we have. that would be easily
And I'm happy to project manager. And I did put to Otago Central Rail Trunk Trust that would be part of the agreement if they need, you know, I don't want it to be lost in process. And our chap did say that it could take up to 1.5 years, but Kate said no, she couldn't see that it would take that long. She'd like to get it going along a bit faster than that.
Well, to get permission or just to get it?
Just, you know, process. So
Does there are some people that live in Wanaka that actually compete internationally,
yeah,
and
massive.
people will travel around New Zealand to go to a new course. They'll come from the North Island to Ranfurly to visit a new course.
it gets you on the app. There's an app that goes with it. What about that? But so there's all that jazz.
It's huge.
So yeah, I'll just keep in touch. I just wanted to
Good.
know where it went. Okay, lovely.
Thanks, Amy.
In fact, that's with you.
I don't need breakfast.
Be a lot of dislocated shoulders.
I was going to shut them. I did an Amy.
My dog will be safe at home. Stones.
Thanks, Amy.
There you go, bugger. Always the hell out of me, I don't know how this will. Very good. Any more in public? Condolences. It's the one, by the look of it, Mark Adam. Ask everyone to be absent. A minute. Thanks very much. Place of the minutes, I presume everyone's read them. Someone to confirm them. Thanks. Seconder. Stu. Any matters arising from them? Very good. All we need. Declaration of interest, remind you to keep an eye on them. Make sure everything's up to date. Mayor's report.
It's been a busy couple of months, and I didn't make it to your last meeting, so I thought I'd just go through a couple of the big things that have happened in the last week. So we had the all of government meeting last week in Wellington, and there was quite a lot of emphasis on, I guess, animosity coming from people towards elected members, and the focus was on women at this one, but it was acknowledged that it's all elected members are facing quite a lot of pushback, and often it's on social media. So if you're not on social media, that's probably great, and you're not really missing much, and you might want to keep it that way. But it is starting to put people off wanting to stand for their communities in a lot of areas. So the government's put a big piece of work together around an online platform that has lots of resources for women, but also leaders who want to be a part of local government. And there was an interesting insight from one of our fellow councillors recently, and that was that so many of the costs within people's households are out of their control, and we are a familiar face that people can access. You can't ring Contact or Meridian to complain about the price of your power. It's very difficult to get a hold of anyone at Foodstuffs to complain about how much your litre of milk costs or your block of cheese, whereas we're all here and we're directly tied to the rates. So I think there is something to be said around that. People just want to be able to complain to someone about things that feel out of control. There was also some really interesting guest speakers, and I'm happy to share with you the notes. I have sent them through to some, but I'll keep them going. I think they went to Rob, but I'll send them to you guys as well, because there were some guest speakers around large-scale infrastructure development. The Sam Stubbs, who oversees Simplicity retirement schemes, gave a really great presentation on leveraging some of that capital to build things like bridges. I said we got lots that they could come here to build. And there does seem to be more enthusiasm from that kind of private capital and superannuation capital to come and start investing in public infrastructure, which is not necessarily tolled, but would have some benefits for them. Funnily enough, that came up again earlier this week at the Affordable Housing Summit, and was also quite a lot of talk about how people can leverage the capital that they have in their home, and when you're talking about affordable housing, and that was one of the things that a lot of our ratepayers are stuck with. They're in their home, but they're trying to survive on the pension, and it's not enough to pay all the bills that they need to pay. So I'll share those notes with you guys as well. Did you mention the local water this morning?
I didn't get on to that, so I missed it as well.
Oh, yes, that one, that's right. Technology was working against you. So this morning, Council has signed off the consultation document that covers the local water done well next steps, which is, I guess, a substantial expansion on the 2 questions that were asked about water in the long-term plan. The document itself is really, I think, easy to read if you're coming at it without knowing lots about water, but also interesting if you have been following along and you know a lot about water. So Council's preferred option going out is to form a joint CCO with 3 other councils, with the potential to add additional councils in the future if that were to align. There's also a quite good kind of myth-busting fact sheet at the end of that around things like how would we protect it from being sold to a private entity. Will it pay dividends? No. How would the setup work? How would our council have a say? Some of those sort of things sort of covered off. So hopefully on the back of a record long-term plan last week, we might get more than 5 or 6 people wanting to have their say and chat to us about water as well. So I'll keep you guys in the loop about how you can support that effort and where you can find information and direct people with questions, because we want people to feel like they had questions answered before they put in their thoughts.
Very good. Who recommends that? What
The last question first.
Oh, sorry. So you go.
In the theme about, because it's quite alarming when you hear on TV and about the bullying aspect, was there a general theme that came out of one topic that was an issue? Or just general councillors are under the gun because of? But was it water or libraries, or was there any general?
No, it seemed to be rates, the increase, but there's also stuff around how things were being paid for, a general increase. There was concerningly an increase in physical or face-to-face abusive interactions, not just online. So yeah, there were a few horror stories coming out of it as well.
Well, it has been more noticeable in the last 5 years, definitely, just in for our wee community.
Yeah. And I think there was quite a bit of chat too about it's not just about us. Like often the people who are sat at the table already have quite a thick skin, or you've spent your whole life sharing and you feel like you're always ready for a rumble in the car park. But there was a lot of chat about often people have an elderly wife at home, or young kids, or they've got aged parents that live with them, and it's about the people who are in your home when you're not there, or seeing things online. If you've got teenagers who see mum and dad being slagged off on the internet or in the media, or all of those sort of things as well, that it has an impact on people beyond just those elected to do the job.
Any more questions? Thanks, Stella. I'll recommend receive report. Yeah, I'll see you. Thank you. Chair's report. Oh, it's really short and sweet. Been doing too much, really. I noticed the water progressing down the street. How are they getting on with that? How'd they put it in? I finished they put that same as the street ones, did they? Right through the old pipes, isn't it? Oh, yeah. All right. They did the usual thing at duck shooting time, but it was a win for the ducks this year, unfortunately. It was a good day or so, and it all up. But I just noticed on some of the roads there seems to be a bloody proliferation of broom getting away again in place. Sorry, don't get stolen the thunder there, but just wondering what's being done about that, or if they're actually doing much. Doesn't seem to be looking much happening. Not even any dead stuff showing up anywhere that I've seen. That's about all I've got to say, really. I'll recommend that report to be received. What is it? Second it. Members report. Okay.
That's like the very first this week.
And the council at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's probably been rather busy, to be fair, for us at council. A lot going on, the long-term plan. There's a lot of work going down the channel of staff and elected members. A lot of decisions that some people don't like, and I do, like I just said before, there's been a lot more angst at elected members about what's happening and cost of rates going up, and even newspaper article. I'm not on social media for that very purpose, because you hear about it occasionally, people have to take it council, but we can only deal with the facts we get given and only given the rules and the laws that government give us. So that's the hard part about it. And I think, to be fair, at council, we've got a very, very good council. And it's been exceptionally well led by Tamer, because she got really chucked in the deep end. There's a lot of work at her level. And that's going to be the hard part for Tamer, the young family, a young elected member, a young mayor, because it's going to get pretty tricky going forward. Yeah, we just had discussions about the mine. I'll just make sure, I just hope, and we are, I know we are, but it's going to be one of those big intergenerational changing things for Central Otago. And I just hope we get it right, because if we can, the people that we'll bring, the high earning people we bring, and the skills that we can develop, the income that'll be spent in our communities, in which we can invest in infrastructure. And trust me, after the work that's been done in Cromwell and around in the long-term plan, there's a lot of infrastructure they've spent, but it's a pretty good place to be. And if we can get it right and get a nice balance between the growth of Central Otago going forward the next 10 to 15 years, encouraging big business like that. And mines aren't everyone's cup of tea, but definitely it'll help fund some of the things, but it will give a lot of job opportunities. And you always see on TV now that the unemployment rate's getting pretty tricky, and guys and girls are going off to Aussie. So to have some of those things on our back door that can keep staff here and for all jobs, bring professionals back in, to be great. Yeah, other than that, I don't know, there's been much else. Time. I missed the meeting today. Technology, it's a wonderful thing. Missed part of the meeting, got to the Santana part. Yeah, and elections coming up around the corner, and there's going to be people to think about if they want to continue. That's what's been a bit disappointing here, and all the accusations of bullying, because all it's doing is putting probably people that could offer a whole lot to a community not even want to put their hand up. And if that's the state we're in at the moment, we're in a pretty sad state where members get attacked for trying to do the right thing for the community. Because we all know around this table, it's basically a volunteer job. Because if you're paying wages or taking time off and not generating income, you don't get reimbursed enough to in some cases bring out the really good people in your community who can't get time off. We've got councils like that in our own that are bringing up a young family, and just taking more time off is always tricky. So if anyone wants to stand, definitely tell them the pros and against, and it's been good to have a whole group of people come around the table, both all over the country, but it's not easy. But other than that, that's pretty much me, really. I don't think there's much. Farming's been an awesome year in the sense of Central Otago's had rain and growth, and we haven't had those winters, so hopefully we do have a shorter winter. Don't get too much snow and everything like that. The roads have got a bit rubbly because of the moisture held on top of them, but I'm sure when they get around their autumn grade, they'll get that sorted out. And a wee bit of angst about some of the roads being closed, but that's what people are taking a while to get over, some of that stuff. But other than that, the tourist numbers have been down a wee bit, not too much, but there's been plenty of activities going on, and that was information at council the other day, that when there's activities, a lot of things happen. So there's been a lot of those, but it's things like Amy's proposing there, all those big things people can do just makes it we stay we better. And that's pretty much about me, I think.
Yeah, both of you saw, I got both of you. Both of you saw Thunder.
You should have gone first.
I was got down here in great autumn. As good an autumn as we've had for 2 years. Copies are all happy. And broom and gorse, side of the roads. And some of that I've noticed the other day is actually flowering for a second time this year. So maybe the season's a bit buggered up or something, but and that's about it from me.
Me, I don't have a lot. There's been a lot of discussion in workplace and socially about the long-term plan, and I think, am I right in saying you had a lot of submissions?
1,216.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting, and I think like credit to the council for putting it out on social media, and that there is a good platform to catch people. I know that our sports clubs and that had personal emails that went out, and we just really encourage people to put their submissions in for the turf especially, and what and the halls, because obviously that's massive discussions at the moment. But what I keep saying to people is great, because this is what it's all about, is having these discussions and where we head to. So yeah, as a younger generation coming through, it's really hard to get your head around the how to word it, but there's just, it's so much. I'm like, just get in there and just write your submission out. And I know that locally we had a group of people that were set up to help people do that as well, so it was pretty cool as well. So look forward to seeing what comes of that, and I hope some good positive things come out of it, which I'm sure it will. So I'm gunning for a turf anyway. What else? Naseby, I think Naseby this year has had a pretty good season. I know that they've got the swimming dam that's all been drained. Are we all done with the concrete there? Is that all?
No.
So a couple of years, yeah, but awesome season up there. Didn't go green, so it was great. So people are saying that, it's probably slower with the tourists in the sense of the rail trail, but I think it's been pumping, especially up in Naseby with the campground and people coming through. So that's pretty cool. We've got some awesome services up there. So I know there is a bit of talk about getting a basketball hoop put up there as well. So a group up in Naseby are really keen to get some concrete and get a basketball hoop up there in the playground. So I've told them to come along as well. So hopefully they might get themselves sorted and come and present that next meeting as well. Main Street looks good. Garden's been dug out, that didn't take long. Got a few people standing there with their hands on their hips going, what's going on? But it'll be cool to see that when that's done. I assume it'll be in spring when they plant that out. But look forward to Amy. Got me down the street last week and told me about the Frisbee golf, and I thought that was a brilliant idea. I think it'll be a really cool, positive thing for our community as well. So just lots of people talking, and positive, negative, but they're talking, so that's cool. So that's what it's all about. So and that's been it. Really.
Just another thing I will add to mine is in some of the discussions, and we all sort of crouch and hold waiting for people to attack us, but there's some really positive comments about what we've been doing. You get used to actually, it's all about, I haven't done this, the council don't do that, but actually there's been, I was talking to Tracy today, and she said the same thing, positive, we didn't do a submission because we were actually really happy about the format and how the decision's been made, and make a great decision. So you don't very often hear that. And I was at Anzac Day, the same way Anzac Day, I went there too, at Skimmerburn. And I've never been to Gimmerburn Cemetery, and what an amazing cemetery it is actually. It's beautiful setting right in the middle of Gimmerburn. But in that same day, at Anzac Day, someone came up and said, we really appreciate what we do as a council, how good we've been. So we got to remember, we don't hear it a lot, but it's good work being done.
Yeah, there's people all on the street outside the shop, helping people with submissions about the halls and that. Did all that come in? Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that looking at the birth dates, that a number of the kids who are away to Vietnam did a submission before they went.
Oh,
Which looked awesome. I was worried that we'd missed them, but we hadn't.
Some of the youth submissions are unofficial, aren't they?
Well, they are official.
Yeah.
I think it's important we acknowledge those in our
There's been lots of them, isn't
316, I think. Yeah.
But that's who it's going to affect, isn't it, in the long term?
Yeah.
Their opinions are vital, I think, and awesome for them to understand the process.
Well, they're
I even knew about it when I was growing up.
awesome, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's cool.
I remember Duncan and I did the penguins over here in St John's, and they made us come in, and the kids had to do what a town was about and what it looked like, and their ideas were phenomenal. I'm not against what period now, but that was much say as that.
It's going to be a McDonald's and a KFC in Nashville.
And a hunting and fishing shop.
Yeah.
And,
What do you report one?
most important one.
Yeah.
Very good. That's all. I'll recommend those reports be received. Second of that.
Yep.
Thanks, Freddie. Governance reports.
Not much on status updates, but there is a note from Rebecca about the community promotions. She is online, and I think she should be able to. But I just don't think to add, but
So it says there was no applications.
at all. There was one received by Public Health Service.
Yeah.
For the community garden, but it was withdrawn, they weren't quite ready. But Rebecca's going to help them through that process. And with the hope that they might be able to reapply for them. We have got Rebecca here. If she's got anything else to add? Yes.
Well. Back to the next meeting. is it? Yeah, I thought we had governance reports.
Normal, that there is no applications. Is that a thing
But sorry, normally.
for the applications for the community and promotions grant? There was none. Is that, why are we not tapping into it?
People obviously don't, haven't aware that it's happened. Or B, have missed it. Maybe that they haven't got the application thought about it.
Not really usually, they must say, oh, it isn't usually someone.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, well, what happens with the money from that there's now?
So then, if they come up next time, there's more in the pot.
So we don't lose it,
No.
it just banks up. So we need, right, it's just weird.
But that's something.
There's something, but that could be the fruit we got.
So effectively you have, unofficially, well, not unofficially, but
Yeah.
there's been a proposal there that could roll its way into that.
Yeah,
Into that promotion, go up with promotion
okay.
of that with the brochure or anything.
Was it twice a year?
And then with the grants funding, if we don't get grants, and this is where it gets tricky with Janice or it gets tricky with the staff, we can't apply in our long-term plan
Yeah,
for more ratepayer funding.
so it doesn't look good that we don't have applications, does it, really?
No, it seems that the community's content.
Or they don't know what they did.
Or they haven't, because quite often you get the same groups, a lot of an Art Deco would come,
Yeah.
like all the bowling ladies.
Hmm.
For their winter fair, so there's quite often a repetitive group.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean to say that the adventure park or someone else comes in and wants more promotion for a winter activity or Matariki or something like that. At the moment they haven't. But it does make it harder for us to apply for grants funding in the long-term plan if we don't have applications at the.
It appears that Rebecca hasn't got anything else to add.
Nothing
Yeah,
to do.
just get in touch
Nothing
with you if
else.
you've got any questions.
Someone to
around.
the governance
Hello.
reports. Date of the next meeting.
Can you hear me?
Second best for that.
Yeah,
I'll move it.
Thank you.
thanks, you. Second, please. Right, thank you. Date of the next meeting, yeah,
10th June.
14th of June. Going to,
And then we just need to move it. That should
I'll move, we move into the confidential section of the meeting. In second. Cheers, please. One of the trustees, the community trust.
I'll just end the live stream in a moment.